Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wine Eat podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Don't wait anymore. So we're going to be talking about the new development as to the KWAM 2.0 incident at the Lagos International Airport in the last few days. A lot of things have happened. The unruly passenger was put in prison without due process. And now she was released by the recommendation of the Minister of Aviation. And we just want to talk about it and also talk about the news or the rumors about KWAM becoming an ambassador, an aviation security ambassador for the aviation industry in Nigeria. Wanted to, talk about it and just get our takes out there and what we really think it's happening. And if you would like to participate, you can go ahead and join us in the comment section and we'll go from there. So with all the new developments, what do you think is going on? Why do you think the lady was released? Why do you think she's now getting a lot of support? Why do you think there are others points of view out there, especially with the actions of the staff of the airline? There are also a couple of videos out there of how unprofessional this particular airline staff has been in the past, and want to know what your take is on all of this new development that we continue to see out there.
Based on the available evidence is in the public domain and probably based on the one that is not released to the public. I think the Minister of Aviation, KWAM1, were taking it upon himself to say, hey, let's drop all the charges and let's let her walk. And I was, very disappointed in her lawyer. I mean, I keep saying it, I'm not saying America has the best educational system. I'm not saying that Americans, are very, very smart compared to Nigerians. But you needed to see the excitement in her lawyer's face. There is nothing to be excited about. She was speaking like they did them a favor. No, they did not do them a favor because obviously KWAM1 is a legal practitioner, probably know that the girl has a very big and good case. Maybe that's why they reached an agreement and said, let us drop these charges because the federal government dropped the charges. But there are also people that believe that they dropped those charges to get to K1 so they can let K1 go off the hook. And if I tell you that I am surprised about this whole development, I will probably be not telling the truth, because when they said they changed K1's suspension to indefinitely, I knew this is where they were driving at, that perhaps they do not want him to do up to 6 months. And to even think that currently K1 is in Canada, somebody that is suspended from flying is in Canada, is even more alarming. So I'm not surprised. Most people are surprised, but I think the government should, for some of these things, I think they should allow some of these cases to get to court and let the court decide them, and so that we can set a very good precedent, lawful precedent. We shouldn't be settling everything, having a political solution to everything. This is actually a very, very big case that, they should have allowed to play out in the law court, and perhaps make K1, if found guilty, allow him to serve his jail time, punishment, or whatever, or his community service. And to even think that they went ahead and made K1, ambassador for aviation security is even more insulting to the intelligence of Nigerians. Is alarming. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's a shame that we'll never really set a precedent in this case. And I can tell you for free that the reason why the case was dropped, the charges against the lady was dropped, is because once you hold her accountable, once she's been held accountable, a lot of people are going to call for K1 to be held accountable as well. And they're not going to like that, because when people continue to push, they're going to see what the people in the political space don't want them to see. They don't want them to feel like K1 is not being held accountable. And as you said, in fact, we don't know how true that is, that K1 is in Canada. And it might have gotten to Canada by a private jet or by a chartered aircraft. So I don't think flying a private jet is against the suspension that has been given. As long as he has the means to get a private jet, yeah, he's free to go ahead and get a private jet and get out of the country. But we know that there are two tiers of justice for people in Nigeria, one for the rich, one for the poor. So I'm not gonna say that the lady has a good case. Even if she has a good case, the case is still dependent on the judge. We've seen cases, especially in the last election, where the judge or the judge that was in charge of the case didn't accept evidences that were presented from the plaintiff, right? So if the judge didn't accept your evidence, how are you going to win a court of law? If the judge says they only want to see the evidences from the plaintiff, yeah, they have a way of manipulating the system to making it work. So if that lady had been held accountable, they would have shown the whole world that the justice system in Nigeria is a joke. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Nigeria. It's going to put a lot of pressure on KWAM and also even the president, right? The president might act like he doesn't know what's going on, but he does know what's going on, and he knows what's going to drive people to get him out of the office. Like you said in our earlier episode, you mentioned that this might be a bad look for the president, especially now that we know that he's running for the second term. If he doesn't hold his son accountable, then it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for him. So a lot of people are going to say, "Hey, he doesn't really care about the rule of law." And then back to the ladies' attorney, a win is a win. Like you said, the system, the justice system over there is a joke. So if you're getting a win on a pot of gold, I would say just take it and go on. Because even if she has a good case, there's no guarantee that when she walks into the court, the judge is going to favor her. If there's a system of a jury, if there's a jury system in place, maybe she would at least have a chance to be heard in the court, have a chance to get some damages from either the airline or from the staff of the airline. But because the justice system is a joke, you know that even if you have a good case and you walk into the court, there's no guarantee that you're going to win. Even when you know that, hey, this is a slam dunk, there's no guarantee that you're going to win the case. A win is a win, no matter how the win comes, whether it was given to you on a platter of gold or you really fought for it. A win is a win. I won't blame the lawyer for it. I'll just say, hey, congratulations, the client has been released, and that's a good thing.
I was utterly disappointed in that lawyer. It does look like she don't know what she's doing. It does look like probably this is her fourth case, handling her first case. That case requires although maybe she got what she can afford, or maybe there is a chance that lady, the lawyer, is a public defender, government lawyer that the government gives to her. Because from the way the lawyer is talking, you can see the excitement in her eyes. You can see that she's so happy that the federal government dropped the case or dropped the charges and said they are not willing to pursue the case again. Is pathetic. I think my advice for her is, if she's listening, my advice for her is to get herself a very good lawyer, a very good attorney, and then file a civil case against the federal government, against the airline, against the airport authority. And as bad as we may think that Nigeria is, she will probably get a lot of money for it, but not in comparison to what she would have got if she's in the diaspora. But she would definitely get paid, because the whole thing, just like in the case of KWAM, the argument in the case of KWAM is not even about him taking that liquid to the airplane. The argument is about the disrespect he showed to the pilot, by spilling the content of his cup, on the pilot. There's no reason why you should dehumanize anybody like that. There is no way why you should assault anybody with either with fecal matter or with anything for that matter. You can. You are not allowed anywhere to do that. And in the case of this lady, I don't think her defense will be, if she want to put up a defense, her defense will be that they release her sensitive photo to the public without her consent. And that is where they will hinge, their defense on. And I bet you that hells will roll. I think there's just a whole lot of people, walking around with impunity. And what makes us think that there will not be another incident like this, in the near future? I'm not even talking about 10 years, probably somewhere around the corner. And when that happens, what is going to be the reaction? When Keyamo was talking today, I didn't get to read all his statement, but when, Sniper, he basically was saying that this is the last time he would let anybody get off the hook. Well, if tomorrow something like this happens, there's no precedent. Nobody has been sentenced or nobody has been found guilty by any of these actions. So what are they going to base their decision on? There's no precedent. So I think a lot, like I said before, if we really want a good government, we really want a good system, we want to fix our system, I think we should be texting our laws. I think they should allow cases to go to court and let us test those cases. Those are our laws. Let us test them in the courtroom and see, even if it means that the judge will have to be lenient on the defendant, let it be that. But settling everything, every case, like politically, I don't think it has a very good, outlook on us as a country. And don't forget that a whole lot of people actually have been watching about this case. And if we decide to sweep it under the rug because some politically exposed people are involved in this situation, tomorrow somebody that is not politically exposed will do the same thing. And I just hope that they will not, bring down the hammer on the person.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad that no accountability will be given out in this situation. So I saw a post earlier today about this same situation that someone made a call to throw her into prison and someone made a call to bring her out of prison. So no accountability at all. And I do believe that she was released because the federal government is trying to save face as to not put K1 under pressure. And I'm sure that's why they're offering K1 the aviation security ambassador. Would he have been offered that position if he hadn't gotten into the airport incident? Do you think he would have been offered that position? I don't think so. So I believe it was because they're trying to save face and they don't want to throw him into the prison, or they don't want to hold him accountable by banning him for life or banning him for 2 years, or depending on what the law says. So it's just unfortunate that we don't get to test our laws, like you said. We don't get to test our laws, and it's sad that people are not going to be held accountable. I'm sure if things like this happen tomorrow, probably the same result, because it's the third time now that the FG hasn't done anything about it. And if it happens again, what tells you they're going to do anything about it? And this is why folks in diaspora, other countries out there, they don't take us seriously. They don't take us serious at all because we have not shown that we can honestly do justice to our challenges. We've not really shown that we can solve our, problems. Many problems that we should have solved a long time ago. But because we're trying to save face, or because we don't want to offend people, because we don't want to look like we're taking the law too seriously, we end up disappointing ourselves, disappointing each other. At the end of the day, there will be no accountability for everyone. So hopefully there won't be this incident going forward, and the people flying will continue to hold themselves accountable, and also the airline staffs will be trained properly, because it all boils down to training. When they don't have proper training, when the aviation security, they will take it forever to attend to situations like that, and that will continue to happen. But it's just sad that our system is not really working. If we're to truly test the laws or test the system, yeah, people are not going to be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, when my brother was telling me that from the very first day that he knew that nothing was going to come out from it, I wasn't really surprised. I knew because of the relationship between the president and person involved, K1. If your close friend is in a big trouble and you are in position to help, it will be a lot of pressure on you. It will be difficult for you to watch your friend or your close ally go down for something that you can actually help them with. On the whole, I think they should have allowed him to go through the court system and then just be lenient with the with the sentence or with with whatever you want to do to him. but let him walk through the court system and let people see that you are impartial. Let people believe that you are not impeding the justice system from working, that you are not getting in the way of justice, even though you'll be working behind the scene to ensure that he has a soft landing, but give the impression that you uphold justice, you uphold rule of law. I think it will, it would have made a lot of sense than just letting him walk. And to add insult to injury, according to our in the local palace, to add insult to injury, you went ahead and made him, aviation security ambassador. That is a slap on the faces of Nigerians. So it means that you are rewarding bad behaviors. What about people that have been behaving themselves, being good citizens? Because as far as I can remember, KWAM has not done anything for Nigerians. He's been taken from Nigeria. He hasn't done anything for Nigerian state. So what is the basis for making him ambassador? So we are rewarding bad behavior. And what are we trying to encourage? So are we trying to encourage everybody else to, start behaving badly so that they can get recognized? In that his ambassadorial position, he will probably be getting paid from the federal government post. So he behaved badly, and we rewarded him with, with an appointment. Hopefully, we will probably do another 4 years. So 6 years. From now to 6 years, he will be the ambassador, and he will be getting paid. Probably have an office somewhere. So he behaved badly, and he's being rewarded with, a juicy position, if I may say. And it doesn't speak well for for us as a country. If we are given the impression that we reward bad behaviors, I think it's just going to encourage bad behavior. People will just behave badly for them to get the juicy appointment. And in conclusion, I think the Minister of Aviation, the federal government, the Attorney General, IGP, I think all of them should go back to the drawing board and rescind that appointment, the ambassadorial appointment, rescind it, give it to somebody that is much more worthy, somebody that can represent the country better, somebody that can, project the country in a better light, not KWAM, not even with what he did. That, as small as we may think that incident is probably have traveled far and wide, and people have seen it. So you can possibly make somebody like that the face of the country. It's impossible. So I think they should go back to the drawing board, listen to what people are saying, rescind that appointment. Let him do community service. He is not too big to do community service. Let him probably give him something maybe more dignifying to do as a punishment for his crime, but just slap him on the wrist and then reward him with an appointment, I think is the highest form of insult to our intelligence as Nigerians. And we want to thank you for listening to us, and thank you for your support, and we'll see you on the other side.